All right, so I want to talk about some important considerations before you start a PhD or any other degree. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever the degree is. I think that these are really, really important, and we probably should always talk about them and think about them. And lots of people don't consider it. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Maslach. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for to help you out as much as I possibly can. So these are things that I wish I would have known before I started my PhD and sort of went along this journey. And it wasn't necessarily clear to me until I started doing it. And then after I was like, oh, okay, I get it. This is a really big thing, is that it is a lifelong commitment. And the degree itself, the knowledge that you get is irreversible, right? You can't go back to what you thought, and you can't sort of unlearn some of those particular things. It's really hard to go back to where you were in terms of, what you would have thought about before. And that sort of irreversibility thing really comes on quick. For those of us who went and did it, you'll understand what we're talking about within like 6 months. You'll be like, oh, I never thought about it in that such terms before. And it becomes a lot different when you start doing it. So that's a super important thing. The second thing that I think is super important is that you never know when it's right for you. Everybody is sort of talking about, or lots of people sort of say it's sort of romantic notions that you know exactly what it is when you're doing it. You really don't know. It's never clear. It's like everything else in life. Nothing's ever clear. I think the sort of romantic notions that you know when you know is kind of like nonsense. It really just does not come clear to you whenever you're doing it, and you have to be okay with that. And you're going to have a lot of self-doubts. There's going to be lots of uncertainty, and that's just part of the game. And that's really what it is, right? And sometimes you need a pep talk to keep you going, and sometimes you don't. And just having that there is really, really important. So the third thing I think is important is that it really changes you. It does. You're never going to be the same after you get a degree, take a course. And that's the goal, right? You're going to see the world totally differently, and you're going to have different understanding. I don't know how many people you talk to, almost everybody that has gone to school and they've taken a course and they're like, my life completely changed after that. And that's cool, right? And it's different for everybody. It sort of has to resonate. You have to find the right sort of teaching method and all that kind of stuff where it clicks with what they're saying. And then once that happens, then, you get this knowledge that you just can't go back. You can't change it. And you're never going to see it the same way before. And that's good, right? That's kind of goes back to the irreversibility of all of this. You really can't unlearn some things. I don't believe in that term. I think that's a little bit nonsense. You can forget, but you can't unlearn things. So the fourth thing I think is so important, and I don't see it now. I didn't see it before. It's not a financial decision. It's really not. I mean, that's part of it, and that's a big part of it, but it's really not a financial decision. It's about sort of figuring out what you are interested in. It's about sort of figuring out what your passions are. It's about figuring out who you are as a person. It's about figuring out like a lot of different things, life. And once you get those things down, then everything else kind of, makes sense. And that's where the financial part comes in, and because you get a sense of who you are. And that's good. That's all good stuff, right? So with that, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.